Obviously, it's got to be safe for everybody. No one's really talking about the fact that Eubank made the rehydration number easy with all his clothes on and a jacket, and he was still underweight. He was probably 3 to 4 pounds under the rehydration. Where he really struggled was at 160, and we get that. He's tight at the weight, and that's a decision for him. But that's where the rematch will be on the contracted terms if he wants it.
Can we have an update on where AJ's out of his potential surgery? When will that kind of be decided?
I think next week he has a very small operation, and then he'll be back post-September. And, be good to finally get him back in the ring, see what happens.
Is the priority Tyson Fury?
Always. But, we can't control that, so we'll have to wait and see.
Eddie, can you talk about what happened at Ipswich earlier with you and Michael Offo?
Yeah, I just wanted to get something going, really. I mean, I think that I didn't expect it with him. But, he's very precious about his fighters because he's, I was going to say a fanboy then, but it's a bit harsh, but you know what I mean? He's very, and he was like standing up for Fabio Wardley, and, sometimes I'm an old man now, you've got to put these youngsters in their place. I think there's always this feeling that, like, I just came on the scene and, I've paid my dues. I mean, I was around World Championship boxing when he was still swimming in the sack. And I know he was an osteopath, but I was building world-class fighters before he knew what a vertebrae was. So, you've got to put a bit of respect on my name. You can't just say, well, what does Eddie Hearn know? Fucking lot more than you.
Were you annoyed when he was saying about the silver spoon?
No, I've had it all my life. But that's like the standard. When you're fucked and you've got nothing to say because you've just been completely outwitted, it's very easy to go, yeah, well, you've got a rich dad. It's like being in the playground, isn't it? And it's like, come on, mate. But that's like, you got a chip on your shoulder and you're not really happy with yourself. He's making his way in the sport. But I always say that the great thing about boxing is there are no barriers to entry. So look at him. He's all of a sudden popped up on the scene as a, is his name Magic? Is his name in it? Magic?
Michael, yeah.
But he calls himself Magic. Magic. Great. We need characters. We've got Magic. Now the whole world knows Magic. Right? So that's great. Then when he walks out behind the fight with a belt, go there, that's that Magic bloke that Eddie Hearn was talking about. And guess what? He used to be an osteopath as well. I didn't know that. And now the whole world knows that he actually used to be an osteopath.
Brian Norman Sr. said you did not send an offer to him over the Ennis fight.
I did not send him an offer.
Brian Norman.
No,
Jr.
I sent an offer to Top Rank. I sent them an offer. I will get you the exact date of the offer. And we spoke to Top Rank. We made him an offer, significant offer. And they said they've spoken to Brian Norman and he is not willing to negotiate any offers until after his Japan fight, which is a total load of bollocks. Who does that? Map out your future for your fighter. So we will see.
Was the offer more than the original one that you sent him?
Yes, it was.
Eddie, can I ask you about John Fury's comments? He talked about Sugar Hill saying he's incapable to teach Tyson. Fury and says if Tyson's to return to the ring, he needs wholesale changes in the corner, including, I guess, exiting Sugar Hill out of there.
Yeah, I hadn't heard those. I mean, that's obviously a question for John Fury and Sugar Hill. I don't know. I mean, I think Sugar Hill's a good trainer. Sometimes it's time to move on. It's up to them.
What concerns you more, I guess, is he said that when it comes to Fury versus AJ, he feels that the horse is bolted and that fight doesn't have the luster it once did. Do you feel the same way?
No, I think it's the biggest fight in boxing. Tell me a bigger fight in boxing. It's impossible. Tell me a bigger fight in boxing. So it's the biggest fight in boxing. Is it as big as it once was? Maybe not. Still the biggest fight in boxing by a mile. So, yeah, if the horse has bolted, then, don't know. I'll be surprised.
Eddie, just a really quick one. We saw Oscar De La Hoya's comments just about Canelo and Crawford, just sort of criticising the age. They've got Crawford 38, Canelo 35. He sort of underplayed its importance. Just what were your thoughts, just generally on his comments? I mean, we know that De La Hoya and Canelo had a bit of a fallout.
I think that as fighters get a little bit older, they start to understand the game a little bit more, and they're smarter with it, right? So some people will criticise Canelo for not doing more in the Skull fight or in the Charlo fight or stepping on these opponents. He's also going, I'm winning comfortably, I'm not getting hit, I'm not affecting my body, give me my money, thank you very much. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I don't blame him for that. But the thing is, when you get the fighters at the right time, and that is a reflection of their age as well, they're more, let's say, ballsy, but they're more, might be naive, but they're more willing to go in there and have a war. These two are a great example. They're not thinking about, oh yeah, if I just get through the 10 rounds, I can have another payday. They're going, fuck it, right, I'm going to have to really have a war on Saturday. Benn Eubank, great example. They just decided, let's have it. And that is when we get great value for money. I do think that Crawford is the problem is Crawford talks about, a lot of these guys talk about the art of boxing and hit and don't get hit. And that's absolutely the art. But it's boring, right, to watch for most people unless you really understand boxing. You know, it's like some people said that Devin Haney's performance was really good against Jose Ramirez. I mean, he won every round, but it was awfully boring and no one wants to watch that. But Bill will say, no, it was the art of boxing. It's like, well, it may be, but it's boring. So, but I don't think Canelo Crawford will be boring. I think it'll be a fascinating fight. But you notice in like Canelo Triple G3, which I promoted, you didn't get the same fight as the first fight because they're both thinking, that was a tough fight, that was. I mean, do we really want to do that again? Or you can almost see it during the fight. So, yeah, younger the better.
Just a quick one on Fisher Allen, obviously, on Saturday. If Johnny Fisher is to lose, how would you rebuild him and how much of a financial hit would that be? You always have to drop down a level. You know, I mean, you never want a fighter to lose, especially one that sells out arenas. But it can happen in the heavyweight division. If you're not good enough, you won't win. So, yeah, I mean, it would be a disaster for him to get beat. Would we run it back? Probably. We'd do the third. But you don't want to be losing at this level. No disrespect to Dave, if you're going to go on and go through the levels. But it's going to be a very tough night's work.
What's your reaction to Shakur calling out Conor Benn?
I spoke to him earlier. He wants it. You know, I said, look, we'll speak tomorrow, but you got Zepeda first. But listen, Conor Benn, everyone wants to fight Conor Benn. He's in an unbelievable position and he's ready to fight them all.
Just quickly, reports circulating about Ben Shalom's and Boxer's continuation on Sky Sports and whether that deal continues on. Just your thoughts on whether that deal does end up extending by some degree, and if Sky...
I hope so. I think, you know, I know it's not been perfect for Ben, but, you know, you hear all kinds of rumours. But we'll see. You know, I think they've got some good fighters that I'm sure Sky will want to continue with.
Thanks,
Want to grow on TikTok? Join our agency for support with expert mentoring, stream protection, and audience growth. It's time to level up. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to join today.